Have you ever found that sharing a bed with your partner just isn't the same anymore as you've gotten older? Whether it's snoring, late-night habits, or simply the need for more space, you're not alone. As we age, our needs, both physical and emotional, change in ways that can affect our sleep and relationships. But here's the surprising truth. Sleeping apart doesn't have to mean that love has faded. It could be the secret to a stronger, healthier relationship. In this video, we're diving into the powerful benefits of sleeping separately after 50. You'll learn how giving each other space at night can not only improve your sleep quality but also enhance your mental and physical health, and even bring you closer to your partner in unexpected ways. Trust me, you don't want to miss this if you're looking for ways to strengthen your relationship and get better rest. Watch until the end and see how small changes can make a big difference. Before we begin, I would appreciate it if you like this video. You can help me continue to spread the old age lesson. If you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like this video, please comment number 1. If you don't like it, comment number 0 to let me know, so I can make a better video for you. Now let's get started. There are countless reasons why couples begin to sleep apart as they enter middle age, reasons that stretch far beyond the simple act of sharing a bed. These reasons encompass not only the physical changes that come with aging but also the subtle shifts in emotional and relational dynamics. I was reminded of this reality at a recent 50th anniversary celebration I attended, a beautiful evening that, in many ways, encapsulated the complexities of growing old together. The night was filled with laughter, fond recollections of shared experiences, and even a few tears. The older men and women at the table were, by that point, as carefree and spirited as children, sharing poems, jokes, and stories from their long and rich lives, as if the passage of time had somehow melted away. In those moments of light-hearted exchange, I found myself reflecting on what old age means, not just in terms of physical decline, but also the emotional shifts that accompany it. It was during this celebration that I had a particularly eye-opening conversation with an elderly man. In a casual moment, I asked him whether he still sleeps with his wife. Without missing a beat, he answered, "No, we've been sleeping apart for quite a while now." Naturally, I was curious and asked why. He smiled, though there was a slight shadow in his eyes, and answered, "She complains that I smell like alcohol." It was such a simple, candid response, yet it struck me deeply. The matter-of-factness with which he spoke, combined with the underlying sense of sorrow, revealed a truth that many of us may find hard to face. Physical changes in our bodies and habits over time can create distances between even the closest of couples. As the conversation continued, another man at the table chimed in with his own experience. "My wife goes to bed early," he said, "and she refuses to watch TV or use the internet when I watch football. She always yells at me to turn it off. The lights are too bright, the noise is too much. She can't sleep with all that going on." His tone was almost nonchalant, but the resignation in his voice spoke volumes about how much he had come to accept these changes in their shared life. I continued to speak with others throughout the evening, and each person had their own unique story. One woman told me, "We sleep apart now. Before I retired, I didn't mind sharing a bed with him, but now he comes home late, smells of alcohol, and snores so loudly that it's like a freight train's coming through the room. I just can't sleep with all that noise." Another woman shared a similar sentiment, saying, "My husband stays up late watching football, and then sneaks into bed after. His cold feet wake me up every time, and I just can't sleep with him next to me anymore." When we were younger, sharing a bed felt like a natural extension of love and intimacy. It was a symbol of togetherness, especially when we had children, and even when the spark of passion began to fade, the comfort of being in the same space together often remained. The act of sleeping together became a quiet, unspoken gesture of closeness, a simple yet profound way of sharing life. But as we grow older, those dynamics begin to shift. For many, the need for physical closeness, especially sexual intimacy, diminishes. This is a truth that many find difficult to confront, but it's a reality that many couples experience. One man joked, "When you have children, you lose your wife. When you have grandchildren, you lose her even more." It's a sad truth for many, that the wife becomes consumed with caring for the children and grandchildren, and the husband often feels neglected or abandoned. As a result, the house no longer feels like the shared sanctuary it once was. One elderly couple I know has developed a rather unique sleeping arrangement that works for them. They sleep apart but remain in the same room. The husband bought 2 single beds, placing them side by side with a small gap between them. Each bed has its camp, and when he watches football, he uses headphones so as not to disturb her. They've maintained this setup for years now, and when I visited them, I could see how well it suited their needs. His wife explained it to me simply. As we get older, we need our space for health reasons. The pain in our bodies, the risk of strokes, it just feels safer this way. We're still in the same room, so we're close, but we have the space we need to sleep comfortably. It was a beautiful sight, and it helped me realize that for many older couples, sleeping apart isn't a sign of a deteriorating relationship, but rather a way to preserve and even enhance it. In some ways, this arrangement reflects a deeper understanding that, as we age, the physical closeness of sharing a bed becomes less important than the emotional connection that still binds us together. For some couples, the ability to sleep separately while remaining emotionally close is the key to maintaining a strong, healthy relationship. It is a reminder that love doesn't always have to be expressed in the traditional ways we once thought were necessary. When we reach our 50s and beyond, the idea of sleeping apart doesn't necessarily signal a loss of intimacy or affection. In fact, for many, it can strengthen the relationship in ways that we might not have anticipated when we were younger. As we age, our bodies change, and so do our needs. Our sleep patterns, comfort levels, and health all influence how we navigate the nighttime hours. For many older couples, the decision to sleep separately is a practical one, rooted in the wisdom gained from years of shared life experiences. The benefits of sleeping apart after the age of 50 go far beyond just getting a better night's sleep. It's about reclaiming your own space, taking care of your physical and emotional well-being, and respecting the bond you share with your partner in new ways. It's about recognizing that love doesn't have to adhere to old expectations, and that intimacy can evolve in ways that honor both the relationship and the individual needs of each person. Sleeping apart, for many, is not a signal of growing apart but a testament to the fact that love can take on new, meaningful forms as we age. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Perhaps in the end, it's about finding a deeper understanding that we can cherish our partners just as deeply while still honoring our own essential needs for peace, comfort, and rest. Relationships, especially long-term ones, are built on mutual care and respect. But there's a quiet wisdom in realizing that, sometimes, taking care of ourselves, prioritizing our well-being, is not only necessary but can also enhance the quality of the relationship itself. Throughout life, especially as we age, we undergo many changes. Shifts in sleep patterns, health concerns, emotional needs, and even lifestyle adjustments. These transformations require us to rethink how we approach many of life's simplest, yet most crucial aspects, like sleep. For older couples in particular, the quality of sleep becomes even more essential for maintaining overall health. Getting enough rest isn't just about feeling energized. It's about safeguarding long-term physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Sometimes, the best solution to improving sleep quality in a relationship can be as simple and surprising as sleeping apart. Think about the many ways our sleep can be disrupted. For example, countless people snore, grind their teeth, or suffer from restless legs, conditions that can disturb not just their sleep, but also that of their partners. For individuals dealing with insomnia, anxiety, or other sleep disorders, the act of sharing a bed can quickly turn into a nightly struggle. The constant tossing and turning, the noise, the sensation of being unable to find a restful position, these factors can wear down a person's health, leaving both physical and mental scars. Over time, the toll on a relationship can become just as significant, creating unspoken tension between partners, both frustrated by their inability to sleep soundly. For some couples, even the mere act of being close to one another in bed becomes a source of stress rather than comfort. I spoke to one woman who described her experience with sleep disturbances caused by her husband's loud snoring and restless habits. For years, her husband's nightly snoring had kept her awake, and on top of that, he would talk in his sleep, waking her up multiple times throughout the night. The result? She found herself utterly exhausted and irritable during the day, struggling to focus on work and daily tasks. The toll on her well-being was evident, sleep deprivation affecting not just her mood but her physical health as well. However, when they decided to sleep separately, everything changed. She described how, after weeks of restless nights, she was finally able to sleep peacefully and uninterrupted. In her words, It felt like a heavy weight had been lifted off her shoulders. For the first time in years, she felt more rested, more rejuvenated, and able to face each day with renewed energy. The decision to sleep apart wasn't just a solution to her physical discomfort. It allowed her to reconnect with her well-being, and in doing so, her emotional and mental health improved significantly. It's not always about snoring or talking in one's sleep, either. Many people suffer from physical conditions like sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, or even night sweats, all of which can significantly disrupt sleep. These discomforts create barriers between couples, making it nearly impossible to sleep soundly when sharing a bed. In such cases, sleeping apart can be a total game changer. Allowing each person the space to rest without constant disruptions opens up the possibility for deeper, more restorative sleep. As we grow older, we also acquire the wisdom to understand that taking care of our own needs doesn't diminish the love we share with our partner. It can enhance it. By acknowledging our own sleep needs and making the necessary adjustments, whether that means sleeping in separate beds or even separate rooms, couples can nurture a deeper sense of respect and consideration for one another's comfort and health. This isn't a compromise on intimacy, but rather an act of self-care that ultimately strengthens the relationship. It's a recognition that self-care and care for one's partner can coexist harmoniously. While this solution may not have been what many of us envisioned when we first entered a relationship, sleeping apart doesn't signify a breakdown in intimacy or affection. Quite the opposite, in fact. It can be a pathway to a healthier, more restful life. When both partners can get the rest they need, they have more energy and vitality to engage with each other and tackle the challenges of the day, together. In this way, sleep becomes a form of self-care that supports the larger health of the relationship, ensuring that both partners have the strength to continue growing together. As we grow older, we cannot ignore the changes that come with aging. Our bodies undergo transformations that affect how we sleep. Issues like snoring, restless legs, and even simple movements that disrupt the sleep cycle become increasingly common as we age. The effects are not just physical. The emotional and cognitive consequences of poor sleep can be equally far-reaching. Poor sleep affects our immune system, cognitive function, and even our emotional regulation. When one person's sleep is disrupted, it doesn't only affect them. It affects their partner too, potentially leading to feelings of frustration, resentment, and stress. Sleep disturbances don't just leave us feeling tired the next day. They have long-term effects on our health, both physical and mental. The impacts of consistently poor sleep, like weakened immunity, impaired memory, mood swings, and increased susceptibility to chronic illnesses, are well documented. Sleep deprivation doesn't just make us cranky. It erodes our overall well-being, making it harder to function in daily life. And for couples, these effects are compounded. When one partner suffers from poor sleep, both partners bear the weight of the consequences. They both wake up tired, irritable, and disconnected, leading to a cycle of frustration that can put unnecessary strain on their bond. This is where sleeping apart can provide a transformative solution. It may seem like an extreme step for couples who have spent years sharing a bed, but it can offer a much-needed reprieve. Sleeping separately doesn't mean drifting apart. It's a recognition that both individuals need their own space to rest, recharge, and heal. By deciding to sleep apart, couples can take a step toward restoring their well-being, which in turn enhances their ability to connect emotionally and physically when they're awake. Take, for example, the woman I spoke to who described how her relationship improved once she and her husband decided to sleep in separate rooms. Her husband's loud snoring had been a constant source of stress for years. No matter how much he tried to be considerate, it was a problem he couldn't easily control. As a result, she was constantly sleep-deprived, exhausted, and emotionally drained. But when they decided to sleep separately, her quality of life improved dramatically. She was finally able to sleep through the night, and she woke up feeling refreshed, energized, and more capable of engaging with her day. This decision didn't just improve her sleep, it improved their relationship. Without the constant strain of sleepless nights, the emotional tension between them eased. They found that they could communicate and connect in more meaningful ways during the day. What had once been a source of frustration became a catalyst for deeper understanding and respect between them. This wasn't just a solution for better sleep, it was a solution for a better relationship. It's not a radical step, but rather a thoughtful one, an acknowledgement of each person's unique needs and an understanding that taking care of oneself does not diminish love or intimacy. By prioritizing sleep and self-care, couples can continue to grow together in a way that respects each person's health and well-being. The decision to sleep apart is not about growing apart. It's about growing together in a new and healthier way, one that honors both partners' needs for rest, peace, and rejuvenation. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Sleep, after all, is more than just a necessary daily ritual. It's a cornerstone of our overall well-being, and its importance only magnifies as we age. The restorative power of a good night's sleep is indispensable, and without it, our ability to function both mentally and physically can deteriorate in ways we might not even immediately recognize. The consequences of poor sleep are not limited to simply feeling tired the following day. Over time, chronic sleep deprivation can snowball into serious health issues, some of which are life-altering. The immune system weakens, leaving the body more vulnerable to illness and infection. Cognitive functions suffer, impacting memory, concentration, and even our decision-making abilities. As these sleep-related health issues accumulate, they can increase the risk of developing serious conditions like heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and more. For many, these physical repercussions alone might be enough to prompt a change. However, the emotional toll of sleep deprivation is just as significant and often overlooked. Lack of sleep leaves us feeling irritable, stressed, and emotionally drained. This emotional wear and tear doesn't just affect the individual, but can also ripple out to strain relationships. For couples, these issues can become even more complicated. If one person has a restless night, whether it's from snoring, tossing and turning, or other disruptions, it often directly impacts their partner's sleep as well. The result? Both individuals wake up feeling groggy, exhausted, and irritable, setting the stage for a cycle of frustration, tension, and emotional disconnect. Ideally, a good night's sleep should provide us with rejuvenation and clarity, but for many couples, sharing a bed becomes a source of stress instead of comfort. The constant interruptions, the tossing and turning, and the endless frustration of not being able to rest properly can slowly erode the peace in the relationship. This ongoing sleep deprivation often leads to unnecessary arguments, heightened tension, and even resentment. One partner may begin to feel that their own sleep needs are being disregarded, while the other might feel guilty and helpless, knowing they cannot change the situation. This is where sleeping apart can offer an unexpectedly simple but powerful solution. While the idea of sleeping separately may seem counterintuitive to some, especially for couples who have spent years sharing a bed, it can make a world of difference when it comes to overall health and well-being. By allowing each person to have their own space to rest, both partners can enjoy uninterrupted, quality sleep. No more waking up in the middle of the night due to snoring, restless movements, or the anxiety of not being able to fall back asleep. Instead, both individuals can relax and rest peacefully, which in turn improves their physical health, mental clarity, and emotional stability. I spoke with a woman who shared how dramatically her life changed when she and her husband decided to sleep separately. Her husband had always snored loudly, a constant source of stress for her. She described lying awake, feeling tense and irritable, just waiting for him to stop snoring so she could sleep. This nightly cycle of interrupted rest took a serious toll on her. She became increasingly exhausted, emotionally drained, and unable to focus on her daily activities. Eventually, the couple decided to try sleeping in separate rooms, and the change was immediate. She was finally able to sleep through the night, waking up feeling refreshed and more energized than she had in years. This change didn't just improve her sleep, it also had a profound positive effect on her relationship. Without the constant frustration of sleepless nights, there was significantly less tension between them. They found that they could reconnect in more meaningful ways during the day. Without the emotional exhaustion from lack of sleep, they were more present and able to engage with one another. This is not an isolated case. Many couples find that sleeping apart actually strengthens their relationship, as it allows each partner to rest without disruption, leading to a more balanced and emotionally fulfilling connection. The idea of sleeping apart may seem like a radical shift, especially for couples who have been accustomed to sharing a bed for years. But it's an approach that acknowledges the unique needs of each individual. For some, the need for uninterrupted sleep outweighs the desire to share a bed, and by respecting that need, couples can continue to nurture a loving, supportive relationship, just in a new form. It's not about growing apart. It's about growing together in a way that prioritizes each person's health and well-being. This shift in perspective allows couples to embrace self-care without guilt, understanding that prioritizing personal rest doesn't mean abandoning intimacy or love. Rather, it can be the key to preserving the relationship and ensuring both individuals are at their best, physically, emotionally, and mentally. In the end, sleeping apart can become a mutual act of care, offering both partners the opportunity to recharge, heal, and continue to nurture the bond they share, just in a healthier, more balanced way. From a mental health perspective, the advantages of obtaining quality sleep cannot be emphasized enough. When we are well rested, we are better equipped to handle the stresses of daily life, regulate our emotions, and maintain a positive and hopeful outlook on the future. Sleep plays a crucial role in mood regulation, improving cognitive function, and enhancing our capacity to focus, think critically, and make sound decisions. For older adults, the mental health benefits of restful sleep are even more significant, as they can help mitigate the emotional challenges that often accompany aging, such as feelings of loneliness, isolation, or depression. Adequate sleep serves as a powerful tool in maintaining emotional stability and resilience, which are essential for mental well-being, particularly during later years. When both partners in a relationship can get the quality rest they need, they are more likely to approach each new day with a sense of clarity, patience, and emotional balance. Sleep restores both mind and body, ensuring that individuals are better prepared to manage the demands of their personal lives and relationships. The physical benefits of a good night's sleep are equally profound. It allows for healing and rejuvenation within the body, helping to repair tissues, boost the immune system, and support cardiovascular health. Moreover, sleep helps regulate metabolism, ensuring that the body functions optimally. For individuals managing chronic pain, sleep provides the essential recovery time needed for the body to repair and manage inflammation, ultimately contributing to a greater quality of life. As people age, the importance of restful sleep becomes even more pronounced. Older adults are more likely to face a range of health conditions that benefit significantly from consistent and high-quality rest. For those in long-term relationships, sleeping separately can be a practical solution that ensures both partners are getting the restful sleep their bodies need to stay healthy, energized, and strong. This doesn't mean that the relationship is lacking in love or intimacy. Rather, it's a choice that places health and well-being first. This practice can promote greater emotional closeness by ensuring that each person is mentally and physically rested, which, in turn, enhances their ability to connect with their partner. The idea of sleeping apart in long-term relationships isn't about distancing emotionally, but rather about respecting each person's individual needs and making intentional choices that foster a fulfilling and healthy life together. It's a recognition that the quality of a relationship is not solely dependent on physically sharing a bed, but on nurturing each other's well-being and allowing space for personal comfort. By respecting each other's need for rest, couples can enhance their physical health, improve mental clarity, and reduce emotional stress, ultimately leading to a deeper connection and more harmonious partnership. This approach also reflects the evolving nature of relationships as individuals age. It's a reminder that even as the years pass, relationships can continue to grow, adapt, and thrive in new ways that honor the unique needs of each partner. It's a powerful acknowledgement of the ongoing process of mutual understanding and respect. As we move into our 50s and beyond, a subtle yet profound shift often occurs within us. After decades of balancing work, family responsibilities, raising children, and attending to the needs of others, we begin to develop a heightened sense of appreciation for personal space. We've spent much of our lives focusing on the needs of those around us, often putting ourselves last. Now, as we enter the later stages of life, we begin to recognize the value of carving out moments for ourselves. This doesn't mean we love our partners any less. It simply reflects a deeper understanding of the necessity of solitude to recharge, reflect, and reconnect with who we are as individuals. For many older couples, this shift toward valuing personal space can make sleeping apart an unexpected but profoundly beneficial choice. Over time, couples naturally develop different habits and preferences. One partner may find peace in a quiet evening spent reading, journaling, or enjoying some alone time, while the other may prefer watching TV or engaging in other activities. These seemingly small differences can create tension if not addressed, especially if one partner feels disturbed or frustrated by the other's habits. What was once a natural, shared experience of sleeping together can start to feel less like an enjoyable ritual and more like a source of frustration. As we grow older, we become more attuned to the little things that affect our comfort and peace of mind. What once seemed trivial can become a source of tension. Small inconveniences, such as one partner staying up late watching a sports game while the other is trying to get some rest, or one person enjoying a late-night snack or a glass of wine while the other is sensitive to smells or noise, can easily escalate into larger irritations, particularly as we reach an age where tranquility becomes increasingly important. This is where sleeping apart can offer a simple yet effective solution. By creating physical space between the two partners, each person is free to enjoy their evening activities without worrying about disturbing the other. This arrangement allows each partner to maintain their independence, whether that's staying up late to watch a favorite show without keeping the other awake, reading in bed with the light on without worrying about causing a disturbance, or simply enjoying solitude without feeling guilty. Sleeping apart doesn't imply a lack of connection. Rather, it allows each individual to have the space to recharge mentally and physically while still maintaining a strong emotional bond. It's a way of nurturing personal autonomy and independence while preserving the emotional closeness and intimacy that defines the relationship. This space may enhance both partners' well-being and contribute to a more balanced and satisfying partnership. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. One woman I spoke with shared a deeply personal story about how carving out her own space in her relationship had made a significant, positive difference. She and her husband had always shared a bed, but as they got older, they started to notice that their evening routines no longer aligned. She cherished winding down with a hot cup of tea and a good book, creating a calm, quiet atmosphere to reflect on the day. Her husband, on the other hand, enjoyed watching the news or listening to music to relax. Initially, they tried to compromise by adjusting their routines to accommodate each other, but this attempt only created tension. She found herself increasingly irritated by the noise of the television or the music playing in the background, while he grew frustrated when she repeatedly asked him to turn the volume down or stop flipping through TV channels so rapidly. After several months of frustration, they decided to try sleeping in separate beds. What they discovered was surprising. Far from creating distance or disconnect, it brought them closer. She was able to fully embrace her quiet time, and he could indulge in his routines without feeling like either of them was intruding on the other's space. This simple shift allowed them to unwind separately, and when they came together in the morning, they both felt more rested, more refreshed, and more connected than they had in years. This experience illuminated a deeper truth about relationships. There is a profound sense of independence that can exist even in the most committed of partnerships. Far from being a sign of emotional distance, having your own space is an essential part of maintaining your sense of self, even within a shared life. When you've spent decades intertwined with another person, having the freedom to nurture your own needs, desires, and routines creates a sense of rejuvenation and respect for both partners. It's not about growing apart emotionally, but about honoring the individual within the relationship. When we're younger, we may feel guilty about needing personal space, as though wanting time alone somehow implies a lack of love or commitment. But as we age, we come to realize that this is far from the truth. Wanting space isn't a rejection of your partner. It's an acknowledgement that to truly be present for others, you first need to care for yourself. Personal space becomes a form of self-respect, a way of honoring not only your well-being but also the health of the relationship itself. It allows both people to recharge and tend to their own needs, which ultimately strengthens the emotional bond between them. Sleeping apart, then, can be a transformative act that honors both the relationship and the individuals within it. It may seem like a small change, but it can have profound benefits for both mental and physical health. It can alleviate the stress of dealing with restless nights, disrupted sleep patterns, or competing routines. More importantly, it allows couples to approach each other with a renewed sense of energy, patience, and love. This kind of space isn't a sign of neglect, but a means of preserving the vitality of the relationship. As we grow older, our emotional landscape often evolves in ways we don't always expect. The passionate, fiery love of youth might fade, but that doesn't mean the need for connection and companionship disappears. As we enter the later stages of life, our emotional needs become more nuanced. The intensity of youthful love may transform, but the desire for affection, understanding, and a sense of closeness remains just as important. In this context, the decision to sleep apart can offer a surprising and yet powerful benefit. Contrary to the common assumption that sleeping separately signals a troubled relationship, for many couples, it can foster a healthier emotional dynamic. Over time, couples naturally develop different routines, preferences, and energy levels. Acknowledging and honoring these differences, rather than trying to force them into a shared mold, can make a world of difference. For example, some people might find that their partner's snoring or restlessness keeps them awake, or the heat from another body in bed can make it difficult to sleep. Rather than allowing these issues to create resentment, Sleeping apart provides a simple solution. This physical space doesn't create emotional distance. Instead, it can foster a deeper emotional connection by allowing both partners to prioritize their well-being. The act of respecting each other's need for personal space can lead to a much more fulfilling relationship. Many couples who sleep apart report that it enhances their emotional intimacy. This is because it removes the frustrations that often accumulate from shared sleep struggles, such as irritation from snoring or the discomfort of sleeping in cramped quarters. When they come together later, whether during the day or evening, they do so with a sense of calm and renewed affection, rather than the fatigue or irritability that often accompanies a restless night. One of the most profound realizations that comes with age is the understanding that love doesn't have to remain the same. The long nights of passionate embrace or the constant physical closeness that often characterizes younger relationships might not be necessary to maintain a connection. Instead, emotional closeness can be nurtured in quieter, more thoughtful ways. This shift in perspective can deepen the bond between partners, creating a relationship that's not just about shared physical space, but also about mutual respect, understanding, and appreciation. As one woman shared with me, sleeping apart allowed her and her husband the space they needed to breathe, but it never took away their love. It made them realize how much they valued the time they spent together and how essential it was to respect each other's individual needs. This realization, that love can evolve and be expressed in different forms, is one of the most beautiful insights that comes with age. Sleeping apart doesn't diminish the relationship. Rather, it enhances it, offering couples the freedom to explore new dimensions of emotional closeness, even as their physical closeness may change. Sleeping apart in a relationship doesn't come without its own set of challenges, and it's important to recognize that the decision to do so can sometimes bring up emotional hurdles if not carefully approached. While this arrangement may work for many couples, it has the potential to create emotional distance if either partner feels neglected or misunderstood. One of the key risks here is that physical separation, if left unaddressed, can gradually lead to feelings of loneliness or isolation, particularly over time. When two people share a bed, it naturally creates opportunities for closeness, spontaneous affection, and comfort. Without that physical presence, there is the possibility that the emotional connection could weaken, especially in vulnerable moments when one partner might need support. For example, if one person is dealing with a health issue, emotional distress, or just the ordinary anxieties that can come with aging, the inability to immediately offer comfort during the night can feel unsettling. In moments of crisis, such as when one partner falls ill, has a bad dream, or is startled awake by a frightening noise, being apart in bed could hinder the instinct to respond and provide reassurance. This physical distance might, in some cases, exacerbate emotional distance, making it harder to offer support in a way that feels sufficient or timely. If you are still watching this video and finding these lessons useful, please comment number 4 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. Thank you for your valuable time. Couples need to be aware of these potential pitfalls and take proactive steps to ensure that, despite the physical separation, they are still emotionally available to each other. This may require a more intentional focus on communication, empathy, and reassurance. By openly discussing why they've chosen to sleep apart and acknowledging the emotional aspects of the decision, both partners can ensure that the arrangement doesn't inadvertently cause feelings of neglect. For instance, having open conversations about why this choice works for both individuals can help foster understanding and prevent misunderstandings from taking root. Communication becomes the cornerstone of maintaining emotional well-being, especially as couples navigate the shifts that naturally come with aging and the changes in physical and emotional needs. Some couples, recognizing the importance of staying emotionally connected, create routines that allow them to maintain closeness even when they sleep apart. This might include nightly rituals, such as talking before bed, sharing a moment of quiet companionship over a cup of tea in the morning, or carving out time during the day for intimate, undistracted conversations. These simple, thoughtful gestures go a long way in keeping the emotional bond alive. Even when physical closeness is not present, these moments of shared connection help sustain the intimacy that could otherwise feel threatened by the physical distance. The beauty of choosing to sleep apart is that it offers couples the flexibility to define intimacy in a way that works for them. Sleeping separately does not signal a loss of love or affection, nor does it imply that the relationship is fading. Instead, it marks a natural evolution in how intimacy is expressed. As couples age, their needs, both physical and emotional, evolve. Intimacy in older age becomes less about physical touch and more about understanding, compassion, and respect for each other's individuality. By giving each person space to maintain their sense of independence, peace, and comfort, couples can continue to nurture their emotional bond in ways that are more sustainable and fulfilling in the long run. Ultimately, the choice to sleep apart is deeply personal, and it requires both partners to be open and honest with themselves and each other about what works best for their unique needs and circumstances. It's about embracing the idea that love doesn't have to look the same as it did when they were younger. Love can grow richer and deeper as time goes on, not despite differences, but because of them. This evolution of love might mean that the ways couples express their affection change, but the love itself remains as meaningful as ever. In this light, sleeping apart can be seen as one of the many ways that love transforms and matures, becoming more attuned to the emotional needs of both partners. When approached with mutual respect, empathy, and clear communication, it can serve as a powerful tool to help maintain a happy, peaceful relationship, even as the couple navigates the beautiful complexities and challenges of aging together. So, what have you learned so far? From how sleeping apart can improve your physical and mental health, to the unexpected ways it can strengthen. I hope this video has given you new perspectives on intimacy and self-care in later life. I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned today that you'll put into practice in your own life? Drop it in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please leave your comment, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more valuable content. Your support means a lot, and it helps us continue bringing you insights that matter. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.